video. What up, my dudes? It's late night, like 12:30. Had an interesting day. Should have took video of it. Hung out with a friend, went to a coffee shop. Oh, ran into this random, I suppose I can post a link to the Instagram video I made. It was short, but ran into this new bookshop that just popped up out of nowhere by my school that had like used books. Here, let's do it real. Let's do it real. I'll show you maybe not all the books I bought. I think I got 4, but it just had I'll show you the cool one. They're all cool. I got this I think it's upside down. War Fighting, the U.S. Marine Corps Book of Strategy. I said Corps. U.S. Marine Corps Book of Strategy. Anyway, it was this bookstore. I got an art book and some psychology book, but it was on the honor system. Like it was weird. You just walk in, there's nobody there, and then there was just a box in back where you throw the money in. And then we went to a cafe. I don't know if I've said it really. Did I say this yet? But I decided to do the NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month. Happens in November. I was going to do it last year, but I went crazy and went in the hospital instead. I actually had a story I was going to write that was crazy, that maybe I'll write it later. This one I'm doing, it's basically the Owning Life book / story I've wanted to write for a long time, but now I call it Flow to Your Dream. The book's titled Flowing to My Dream, where I'll kind of like piece together different principles and philosophies and weave them into life story things, from things on YouTube, things off of YouTube. Should be interesting. It's been interesting writing it. I'm a little behind. You're supposed to get 50,000 words in the month. Maybe I'm at about 15,000 words, but I should be closer to 20 right now. So we'll see what happens with that. Anyhow, that was a long intro to the original point of the video. Was going to be, what was it going to be? The numbering scheme. So I'll have up there 332, and I was going to ramble about that numbering scheme real quick. So I came up with this 108-day cycle system that I've been experimenting with, and now I like the idea is to stick with it for 108 cycles, which would be 36 years, and this is cycle 3 for me. And before yesterday's 331 video, yesterday would have been just 3.73, and the whole point of doing this system, one, is to just kind of break away from the way people look at time and whatever, and just make up my own time. It's all made up anyway. So I'm like, I want my own time. I want my own cycles for how I do things. So 108 is a number I love for a lot of different reasons. That's outside of the scope of this video. So doing these 108-day cycles. And really it's about, again, I kind of got the idea from startups, companies. There's this thing about pivoting and having like like the Lean Startup. That's a book, and it has this whole thing about where you do short experiments, focused, and then you take what you learn from them and like maybe pivot, go in a different direction, stay in the direction, whatever, but you're always kind of staying on your toes, experimenting. And then I wanted to throw that into my life, I guess. And I guess I had been doing that for a long time in 1 year chunks, but a year is a long time, dude. 108 days is a fucking long time. And I guess that brings me back to what I started with at the original 108 days have shifted quite a bit. Like So getting back to the numbers, just to answer that quickly, the point is that yesterday would have been day 73, but since it's like kind of shifted a lot from the original 108, I'm making it day 1 of 36, which is another number I like. So I have the 10, like the 108's like I can break up like, oh, I'll day 30, you know. So I broke it up into a third, so that's why it's 331. So it's cycle 3, section 3 of cycle 3, day 1, day 36. So that's that. And so I kind of shifted from what the 108 was, like the meditation changed into going deep into researching Zen stuff, like Chinese Zen, Chan. So then I got into, because the book I was reading was kind of a combination of Taoist thought and Chan thought. So then I started spending my meditation time to research Chan. And I guess I'm still doing that daily, but there's no timer involved or anything. It's a combination of just reading books on my own and messing around on the Zen Reddit. So that got, you know, that switched up. I'm doing this NaNoWriMo thing, so originally I was trying to journal every day, but now I'm like writing, you know, 2,000 words a day or whatever. And yeah, the basic point I wanted to make is that, you know, with this numbering whatever system, it's just kind of designed so I can keep track of things in my own systematic way that for me works better than dates and months and whatever, because what I can do, like let's say I look at this video 10 years from now, you know, if I look at this video 10 years from now and I just look at the date, and the date is, what's today, November, I guess it's technically the 14th, but November 13th, or November 12th, yeah, November 13th, and I see November 13th, 2019, right? Like I see that in the title, or I look at the timestamp on YouTube, that like means nothing to me. Like I would have to like try to figure out like the whole context of everything versus my 108 numbering system. I see 331, or if I see 3.73 or whatever, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember my third cycle was focused on this, and like just immediately it has a meaning to me, just boom, like right away, because I'm like, yeah, cycle 3 I was focused on this, or if I, you know, it's cycle 7, you know, I see cycle 7 and I'm on that cycle 77, I can, you know, if a video comes up or somebody, whatever it is, I can just see it and I immediately know what was going on with my own kind of labeling system. And really, this is like something I've been messing with for a long time. Like there were times where I would just like start making videos and like it'd be video 1, video 2, but there was no kind of anchoring. So what I did, you know, now I have my own system, but it fits inside of the Gregorian calendar system. So the anchoring for the 108 days starts, you know, January 1st, May 1st, and September 1st. So that's the reboot day. And 108 days, you know, isn't long enough, but then it gives you, you know, about almost 2 weeks, depending on which, you know, first, second, or third cycle, where you can reflect on the previous 108, plan for the next 108, do the experiment all over again, and boom, you got a cycle. And then again, even inside of the 108 cycle, you can like, boom, 36-day cycle. You could even, you know, break the 36-day down cycle, you know, like just all these little tweaks and adjustments. Yeah, that's my rambling. This is my rambling video, where all it was meant to be was a 1-minute video about why the numbers are what they are. But you got whatever this was. And I was gonna say this yesterday, but yesterday I did all that Death Stranding stuff, and I'm about to go home and sneak in Magda will be sleeping already, and I'm gonna go get an hour of Death Stranding in, which might turn into 2 hours. Like last night. Last night I'm like, I'm playing, and it's 1:30, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do 30 more minutes. I'm gonna do this mission real quick. I'm just walking home from the MRT. Actually, I stopped to get food and started recording when I left the little food shop. This is the street. I'm near the end of the street here. I might stop before I get home, depending on what happens. But, so, you know, playing Death Stranding. It's 1:30 in the morning. I'm like, oh yeah, cutoff time, 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock, definitely. I got 30 minutes. I can do so much in 30 minutes. And then, I think, you know what threw me off? I think the boss battle started after that.
Total distance 1 mile. Total time 38
You guys
minutes
hearing
and
that?
16 seconds.
This is my...
Split pace 38 minutes 16 seconds per mile.
The pace is all crazy because I stopped at 8. So, you know, my run every day, the minimum is walking for a mile, which is why I walked from the MRT. It's a little over a mile. Getting home from there. So that's one of my daily one of my daily things. I vastly prefer running, but it doesn't always work out like that. But you can always get a 1 mile walk in. So you know, it's 1:30, and then clearly something happened that lasted more than 30 minutes. I didn't notice, and I thought I had time, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this delivery real quick. Oh, I'll do this quick. Oh, and then I don't know. I looked at the time; it was like 3:30. I'm like, how did that happen? There's my Death Stranding story. Yeah, we'll cut it off here. I'll remember to I'll throw the link in for that random whatever. So that's it. Cycle 3, section 3, day 2. I mean, it's technically day 3, but the day isn't done until I close my eyes and sleep. Alrighty, guys. Peace.